flags flying, and already, look, what is that? 5, 6, 7, 8 wide.
Cars off into the wall.
You're racing hard and fast.
A very good evening from the Yas Marina circuit. We're here with the Golf Radical Cup round 3 of 7 and a race 3, the final race of this weekend. The Enduro race. We've had a 6-hour Enduro race. Why don't we have a Radical Enduro race? I'm Phil Anson, joining me in commentary this evening. Chris Melbourne. Good evening, Chris.
Good evening. It's fantastic to be racing here. It's been a long day. We've been patiently waiting for this one. I know you've had a really eventful day today already with the 6 hours, but here we are for a 45-minute Enduro for the Golf Radical Cup. And 2 drivers actually here that racing with us tonight actually already did the 6 hours. Johnny Kazoom, who lines up in 11th position, and Greg Gorski, who starts in the 24 car in 8th position. I think they're feeling the burn a little bit, but they're also very excited for this race.
They are indeed. We had a good chat with Greg Gorski during the break. He's all keen, ready to go, all pizzaed up and pineapple juiced up, ready to have some fun out there on this Yas Marina circuit. 5.281 kilometres long. 16 corners, 9 left, 7 right in an anti-clockwise configuration. Now, in this Radical race, there is a mandatory pit stop, okay? And the cars have to come into the pits, get to their pit box, and stay stationary for 45 seconds. However, in the Radical... the Golf Radical Cup, you get some penalty seconds for your success at the previous round. So Lim Geshev is going to take 45 seconds plus another 15 seconds, so he's going to get 60 seconds. Ian Aguilera will be 55 second stop, and Alexander Novikov and Zig Furmeister both with 50-second stops. So that is wheel stop to wheel stop, and it's success seconds from your previous round successes.
And the timer does not start when you enter the pit lane, and it does not stop when you exit either. It's only the time that you're stationary. So the team have to be very careful and time this to perfection. There is Jack Yang. He will be the sole driver actually to do this with a co-driver. Because, of course, Bobby Thompson, for the British touring car fans out there, is here tonight with us, and he will be doing the second stint in that 33 car. It
was quite interesting watching them down there because they're quite different sized drivers, and Jack has to have a big seat insert in for that, which they're going to have to remove. The team's going to have to remove and get that all out. Perry Damas starting in 3rd position this evening.
I've got to say, it's a fantastic qualifying as well from the 69 of Perry Deramas to be that far up the order as well. Alongside him is Lim Geshev. Now, Phil, you noticed something because when we had qualifying earlier today, he was supposed to be 3rd. However, he's starting in 4th now.
Yeah.
So there was some sort of penalty applied here to Lim Geshev for TT Racing. There he is, our Platinum Radical World Final winner from a few months ago. We saw the pictures earlier on, and it still gives me goosebumps every time we see the highlights.
Yeah, apparently there was something that happened on the in-lap from qualifying. Okay, so they'd taken the checkered flag, and something happened there with a couple of drivers. We'll get to the second one. There's Zig Furmeister from the Australian. He is starting in 5th position. But, yeah, something happened on the in-lap that the stewards wanted to have a look at, and some penalties were dished out.
There is the 15 of Amir Faison. Actually, he should have been one of the 5 drivers to have the additional time added to his pit stop. And you can see George King there offering him some insights there. Actually, quite a wealth of driver coaches here this weekend. We've got George King, we've got James Winslow. We've also got Bobby Thompson, who's been driver coaching Jack Gang for the past 4 years.
And don't forget Tommy Erdos.
Now, of course, can't forget him as well.
Two-time Le Mans winner. Not a bad driver, coach.
Plenty more star power, not just on the grid, but in the paddock area as well. Jules Strider, great qualifying efforts as well here from the 99. A driver that's rapidly improved over the past 2 seasons as well is Jules Strider here for Gulf Sport Racing. They're just having a quick chat with his team, trying to just get the setup all right as well. A few drivers were complaining during qualifying that it is quite cold and the qualifying was quite short as well. There's only 15 minutes of qualifying earlier today. It's definitely not enough time to get the temperature up in the tyres and everything up to temp that we like it. Here's Greg Gorski, another one of our drivers who did the 6 hours earlier today on the 24 for Gulf Sport Racing, using the same car that he rented last year. Has a new engine in that car as well from qualifying from yesterday. He's certainly been one to watch out for here. Ibi Hadid had a fantastic battle yesterday in the fight for what was 5th position. It was the Canadian in the thick of things there with Johnny Kazoum and a few other drivers as well. So we'll look to see what Ibi can do here. A fantastic start for him in race number 1 as well. He looked all the way to the left-hand side, saw an opening and took the opportunity.
As you do.
And it was smooth sailing essentially for him right there. This is Alexander Novichkov. Unfortunately, yesterday, not everything went right for him. And now, hands up in the air, talking to the team, I really hope the car gets going from here, because if there is a driver on the grid that deserves a good result in this race here, this endurance race, it is Alexander Novichkov.
Yeah, he got pushed back off the grid on the last race, didn't he? Just couldn't get the car mobile. The TTR team went to work on that car during the long interval between races here this weekend, and hopefully they've got that all sorted out. Talking about temperature, track temperature is down to 20 degrees. Now, it's going to make these Hankook tyres work very hard indeed. Remember today, during the 6 hour, it was up at the 30-degree mark. Air temperature, it's absolutely freezing, 17.5 degrees. The wind is almost non-existent now, so that's not going to affect these aero cars, but it's cold. Getting heat into these tyres is going to be paramount.
It certainly is. I do see someone is out of place a little bit further back. It's just in front of Marcel Kopp. Now, who is that might be out of place? It's not
Chachava?
Is it? Yeah, you're right. It is Alexander Chachava, racer in the Clio Cup Middle East from last year. But here's the grid. Usman Magar will line up in pole position. Alongside him will be Jack Yang, who starts the 33 car with Bobby Thompson going to get the halfway point. Perry Deramas, a fantastic qualifying effort from him to be 3rd on the grid, with Alim Geshev alongside for company, one of 2 championship rivals here that are really fighting tooth and nail. Then we have Zig Meister and Amir Faisalin alongside for company. And the TT Racing, Amir Faisalin promoted to 3rd in our first race yesterday after Julian Money was handed a penalty which dropped him down 10 places. Jules Strider in 7th alongside the American Greg Gorski for Gulf Sport Racing. Great to have Greg back in the championship as well. Fantastic character is he. Ibi Hadid and Alexander Novichkov alongside each other on the 5th row of the grid in 9th and 10th respectively for Gulf Sport Racing and TT Racing. Hopefully Alexander Novichkov will take the start here. Johnny Kazoum and Julien Monet, who was on the podium yesterday, but unfortunately that 10-second penalty dropped him down to 13th for Roar Motorsport, but is looking for repeat success here today. Then we have Pascal Bachmann, the Swiss driver, and Alexander Chachava racing the Clio Cup Middle East last season. Great to see him here in the Golf Radical Cup in the 32 car. And Phil, that is Perry Deramas.
Perry Deramas not getting off the line at all. You can see him working frantically inside the cockpit. Starting from 3rd position, and it looks like he's moved forward, but he's not moving forward very, very quickly at all, and he's trying to get that car restarted. Now the grid has gone past him. He'll have to start behind the 17 car of Ian Aguilera. Obviously Ian got a penalty from qualifying due to and after the checkered flag incident that put him to the back of the grid. The 60, so lucky, but he won't be able to take his place back because the entire grid has now gone past him, and they're working their way down the back straight already. He's just coming around turn number 2. He's got a lot of work to do to get up into position.
He certainly does. And Marcel Kopp had a similar issue in race number 1, just couldn't get the car fired up and received a penalty because he retook his starting position. He was at the tail end of the field, but retook his position as the final car went past him, and unfortunately was handed a penalty. Now Perry Deramas, who had that fantastic starting position of 3rd, right next to Alim Geshev, that would have been the place for him, and that could have been the victory for Perry Deramas as well. He's a driver who's fantastically improved in the Golf Radical Cup over the past few seasons, and that is heartbreaking for the 69. But the good thing is the car has got going again.
Yeah, he's catching up to Ben Curry on the back straight, so getting that work done. Just coming into shot now down into turn number 6. Yeah, heart in the mouth stuff, really. That. Now, we have one non-starter. Even though we have 18 drivers, we only have 17 cars. But Rick Parrish, unfortunately, not feeling well this evening, so he decided to withdraw here in the 20 car.
Which is unfortunate because it was a great backup plan there for Usman Magal, our pole sitter here for Relentless Racing, because Usman really needs to get some points here if he wants to challenge for that title. We're speaking to him yesterday, and he said the championship hunt, you could say it's over, but however, with the Gulf Radical Cup, we have double points on offer in round 7, and that could make or break a championship there at the end. And well, he wants to score as many points. Currently, he's sat in front of 2 of his championship rivals, Alim Geshev, but I think the biggest talking point is what's going to happen now with the 17 Ian Aguilera.
Exactly. Now, I'm looking at Ian Aguilera, 101 points, leading the championship at the moment. Amir Fresno is 9th on 19. Usman Magal is 3rd on 48 points. Now, that was coming into this weekend, so we haven't counted the 2 races yesterday and this race. So that's all changed. You get extra points for the fastest lap in qualifying, extra points for fastest lap in race. So there is a lot on offer here, especially for Usman Magal on pole. That's another point for him.
Of course, and the good news for him as well is he's not one of the 5 drivers who have that additional time to serve in the pit lane either. Ian Aguilera and Alim Geshev both have to serve additional time in the pit lane. The safety car has peeled away, so it's about time we go racing once again here at the Gulf Radical Cup as we work our way through 15 and 16 for the final time here on the formation lap. And it looks like we're ready to go already. A lot of drivers jostling for position, but they shouldn't be doing that. They should be saying where they are in their formation. There's
a gap there where Perry Damas is supposed to be. They've got to leave that gap there in 3rd position, and the gap is there. The lights are out, and we are racing. We are 3 wide, and it's Alim Geshev in the middle of this battle between Usman Magal and Jack Yang as they go down into turn 1.
Looking if there's any contact anywhere through turn 1. Now, Perry Demas has already made up a position. He made his way past Ben Curry pretty much immediately and is in catch-up mode. But the 17 is the one we're going to have to keep a close eye on here is Ian Aguilera. How far has he shot up through the field on the opening few corners? As Alim Geshev now trying to go around the outside of Usman Magal down towards turn 5. These two know each other very well in this championship. And I think Usman is now, playing second fiddle essentially to Alim Geshev at the moment because...
Oh, a bit of touching there.
Alim is doing exactly what Usman does on the opening stages here at the Aspirina circuit, and they go side by side down towards turn 5 for the first time.
So who's on the inside here? Let's have a little look. Oh, the number 11 in
the lead. That's Alim Geshev and Usman Magal in the 21. So new race
77.
leader.
Sorry.
Alim Geshev.
Oh, 4 wide into turn 6. Sometimes doesn't end well. Contact there between the 5 and the 77.
That was Johnny Kazum in the blue car and Ibi Hadid there in the Tiger Print car. They're very, very eye-catching livery for the Canadian.
Top 3 now starting to break away as we continue around lap number 1, and it's Alim Geshev with the fastest 1st and 2nd sectors at the moment.
And Ian Aguilera, after 2 sectors, is already behind Joel Strider. So he's up now into 9th.
Julian Monti having a really bad 2nd sector, 101. He's about 6 or 7 seconds off the pace. I think that was that kerfuffle at turn 6 and 7 that caused him to drop back.
And that's very unfortunate for Julien Monet as well. He's had a fantastic race weekend here. He was on the podium for the first time, but unfortunately that penalty dropped him way back the order. Now, where is Ian Aguilera in all this? He may have gone through our pictures already, so he may have already picked off Joel Strider, so he might be tucked up behind the 24 of Greg Gorski already.
He's behind the 99 at the moment, is car 17, just about come on the start-finish straight, so we'll get an idea of where everybody is. And he's right up behind Zig Furmeister at the moment.
In the 26 car. So 5th overall is Zig Furmeister. Ian Aguilera from the back of the field in 1 lap.
13th place.
11th
place, sorry. 18 to 5th.
Insane how fast Ian Aguilera has carved his way through.
Indeed. Everybody taking it easy. It's a 45-minute race.
So it's not even a penalty to be applied to him during the qualification and dropping to the back of the grid that's going to stop him. We thought maybe he had a bit of an issue with so much around him, but of course with that experience that he gained from the Radical World Finals, racing against 32 of the best Radical drivers, of course that's ingrained in his brain and he knows exactly what to do, kept his head cool and is carving his way through the field. Tucked in behind the 26 at the moment, and in front of him Amir Faisalin as well as he dives to the inside of the 26, and the next car is the 15 that he has to beat through turn 6, up that through turn 7 as he gets a much better exit and latches onto the back of Amir Faisalin.
Yeah, this is all kicking off now because what's happening is that Alim Geshev is driving away from Usman Magal and Jack Yang, and then this battle behind the 15 of Faisalin and Zig Furmeister. Furmeister up the inside, down into turn number 9, and he makes that move stick, and Zig moves up into 4th position. Ian Aguilera now just keeping an eye on this battle because now he's got to get past Faisalin. We'll see what those gaps are at the moment, but a 2:02.403 for Alim Geshev on that opening lap.
Car 69 being under investigation for gaining an advantage. That is Perry Deramas, who we unfortunately saw did not get the car going to the formation lap, dropped back to the tail end of the field, and now working his way through. Maybe not as quickly as Ian Aguilera has done. He's up in the 14th at the moment, but we've got this great battle here as well. Amir Faisalin, Zig Furmeister, and then tucked in behind them is Joel Strider in the 99 car. There is Alim Geshev on the left-hand side of your pictures, taking the right-hand turn there. Sorry, left-hand turn, excuse me. It's the other way round through turn 1, followed by Usman Magal and Jack Yang. 2.9 seconds of the gap up front, and it's 0.3 of a second back to Jack Yang. And Ian Aguilera now into the top 5. He's 4th overall, and he's 2.4 seconds back for the battle for second.
And 5.7 seconds back from the leader. 59.088 for Alim Geshev on that lap. 2.9 seconds to Usman Magal in second. 0.3 of a second to Jack Yang. That battle's still carrying on. Ian Aguilera behind that. He's now got 2 seconds over Amir Faisalin. That happened about 7 corners ago. Absolutely. But Zig Furmeister right under the rear wing of Amir Faisalin. That's the battle for 5th and 6th.
And there is Jack Yang all over the back of Usman Magal. We've got a car already in the pit lane, Yahid Kardim. Now, Phil, this does not count towards the mandatory pit stop because the pit stop window will open once the laps.
And
that is that the 99 of Joel Strider that's gone round. Now, there's a yellow flag at turn 6, of course, and that's very brave of him to try and go in front of Novichkov.
Looked like that. It looked like a 99 on the side of it. Very difficult to see because there was 2 white cars side by side.
And Joel Strider, here we go. Let's have a replay of this, Phil.
Yeah, just too deep under brakes. Locked the rear end up as he went into the corner. And really lucky not to take the red car with him.
Of course, and the second.
Well, this overtake here couldn't happen because it's yellow flags. So that might get looked at as well. But a little bit further down behind him.
Joel Strider continues on, as that did look like the 99. Now, going back to the pit stops, Phil. So the pit stop window opens at 17 minutes elapsed, correct? And then it's open for 9 minutes. And then during that time, every driver must come in and do their mandatory 45-second stationary pit stop time. Yes. Then they have the additional time of depending on where they finished in the previous endurance race, not the previous sprint race.
Yep.
So that's why we have a few drivers that might be sort of shuffled around that have to be that extended period. Now, the car that should be stationary for the longest time is the number 1 car of Alex Vukanchdov, but Alex is not here this weekend because he only did a one-off round with us a couple of weeks ago at Dubai Autodrome, but this time round, Vukanchdov decided to do the 6 hours and the 24 hours instead. But of course. Yeah, and well, he's offering his support as well to his fellow drivers here, including Alim Geshev. Did see him pop in and out of the garage and saw the two of them talking quite a fair bit as well.
Yeah, good to see. Ian Aguilera, 158.585, quickest lap of the race. But on that 58.639 for Alim Geshev, he's not closing Alim Geshev down very much. He's closing Jack Yang down. He was 1.3 seconds quicker on that lap than Jack Yang.
Oh, and that is Julien Monet, and the car in front was Pascal Bachmann in the 91, as we saw the tail end of that incident there. That was through turn 5. Now, can the Swiss driver refire that car and get it going again, as the local yellows will be waved down there, the marshals on site as well, to signify to the driver and to check if he's okay as well.
I think they're giving him because he can't see through the Armco, I think they're giving him the thumbs up that he can try and rotate the car. Or might have been a little touch there. He just started to close the door on the red car.
And that's unfortunate there for Julien Monet as well, because now he'll be under the watchful eye of the stewards as well. But it did look like the 91 tried to close the door. There is Pascal Bachmann, so he is okay. So he's getting the car refired up as well.
There we go.
So take a quick spin.
Oh, and they called the safety car.
Just as he got the car going again as well.
Now, under the regulations, they cannot recall the safety car now. So car 69, 10-second penalty for leaving the circuit and gaining an advantage.
And it's all going wrong for Perry Deramas. He didn't get off the line in third, and now he's been handed a penalty.
Red mist came down because he was really worried. 36.40 to go, and we are under a safety car. I think this will be a pretty quick safety car. It'll slow right down. It'll try and pick our leader up, the 77, just exiting turn number 1, and comes in behind him now. So the safety car may come in on this lap unless there's something else going on that we are not aware of. Joel Strider did move up to 12th on that lap. Chachava down to 13th. Julien Monet up to 14th, but then had the spin. Marcel Kopp in 15th at the moment.
And Pascal Bachmann will drop down behind Ben Curry.
Yep.
Yahid Kardem's got the car going again and out of the pit lane, but as we said before, that pit stop does not count, so he'll have to come in again once we've elapsed 17 minutes of racing. So it will have to serve 2 pit stops. Now, the bad news for Elim Geshev is he's a 5.2-second gap between himself and Ousmane Magal. Now, that is completely eradicated because the safety car's been deployed.
Yep.
That brings Jack Yang into the mix, and more importantly, it brings Ian Aguilera, our championship leader, into the mix as well.
Just remember, our leader has the longest pit stop, 60 seconds. So that's going to give Jack Yang, who has to do a driver change in that pit stop as well, to Bobby Thompson. So it's going to see how the Golf Sport team work on getting Jack Yang and Bobby getting his seat support out of the car and installing Bobby Thompson in that. They have the standard pit stop of 45 seconds stationary.
And the safety car will pull them round. And of course, for some of the drivers, they like this to last a little bit longer so they could kind of pit behind the safety car to minimize the time that they'll lose to the rest of the field, because the pit stops will actually really shuffle up the order.
Yep.
And it'll take us a lap or two to kind of reconfigure who is the leader of the race. But it looks like the safety car will stay out by the looks of it for an additional lap. Let's wait and see. As Elim Geshev will bring the field round behind the safety car. Ousmane Magal in second. Jack Yang is third. Ian Aguilera from the back of the field already in fourth. Amir Faison fifth. Zig Furmeister sixth. Greg Gorski is seventh, with Johnny Kazum in eighth. Perry Deramas up into the top 10 once again, but has that 10-second penalty looming over his head. And of course, Phil, he can't do a stop and go. It will be applied at the end of the race.
Indeed it will. A little bit of overlapping there between the 21 and the 77 as they make their way down through the right-hander. I think the safety car has gone because he's backing the field up now, is Elim Geshev. So we'll wait and see. They're coming up to turn 12 at the moment, and now they're very tightly bunched up together. And you can see he's slowing right down. The safety car has gone, and this will be the restart with 33, just on 33 and three-quarter minutes to go. And what he wants to do is back Ousmane Magal up into Jack Yang and Ian Aguilera to try and get them to attack those two so he can go. Now, it's up to him when he goes. He's still warming the tyres up at the moment, the Hankook tyres. Oh, did he just give a little tap and then come off the throttle? Because Ousmane Magal had to really avoid the back end of that car, and he's gone. He has gone. Great restart for Elim Geshev.
So I noticed that Ben Curry and Pascal Bachmann were a little bit further back from the end of the safety car than they should have been, actually, because they've got quite a gap between themselves and the Marcel Kopp number 18. I remember Yahid Kardem, who's already stopped, is somewhere in this mix as well, so he's not really in that battle there at the moment.
Yes, he's on a lap down, as you said before. But what a lead for Elim Geshev, 0.6 of a second already. But the battle behind is Jack Yang and Ian Aguilera, and that is going to kick off. Aguilera already looking up the inside as they head onto the back straight. Yang has to go very defensive here. to keep out of trouble. And Yang's trying to chase down Usman Miguel. Fantastic battle for the lead, but it's all about Ian Aguilera. Starting from the back of the grid, we've got 32.5 minutes to go, and he's got the flashes on. He's trying to upset Jack Yang. It'll take more than flashing headlights to upset Mr. Yang.
That was, you can see Greg Gorski there on the inside of Perry Deramas up towards turn 5. I also noticed the old Strider muscling out Alexander Novichkov through turn 5, the previous corner actually as well, through that long left-hander. But again, we're going to go side by side. Greg Gorski on the right-hand side of your pictures, and that's Perry Deramas on the left-hand side. Who is going to be the latest of the breakers here? It will be Greg Gorski, but...
The grip on the outside there. Wow, what grip.
Perry Deramas is going to run him all the way through and stays ahead.
Nice move. Absolutely textbook move. Gorski's trying up the inside. Oh, that's a really, really dangerous move through 10 and 11. Boy. Wow.
Through on the inside goes Ian Aguilera on Jack Yang. Now moves
under the hotel.
And into the top 3 from the back of the grid as well.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of work to do now to get up to Usman Miguel. Usman Miguel and Alim Geshev now starting to extend away. 1.4 seconds, just 0.8 of a second. He is now behind Usman Miguel as they go out of picture. Then it's Jack Yang, Amir Fezlin, Zig Furmeister, Perry Deramas, Greg Gorski, Ibi Hadid, Joel Strider is your top 10 with 31 minutes remaining.
So no further investigation for the incident between Pascal Bachmann and Julien Monet popped up on our screen at turn 5, and that was the reason for the safety car there, as Ibi Hadid under pressure at the moment from a very hard charging Joel Strider there in the 99.
He had a big moment there. The back end of that 99 car came a long way out, more than you want in a Radical. And he held on to it very, very well.
As we fast approach the pit stop window opening. Now, also in the Golf Radical Cup, while some of the teams do have radios where the driver coaches or various team members will reach out via the radio to tell them that the pit window is open, they have to see that the board is shown underneath the starting gantry or here at the Aspirina circuit.
It'll be on the LED, yeah.
It's digital, isn't it? So they have to wait to see that. Now, I do wonder if you think Joel Strider's flashes are actually stuck? And
what happened? Something happened to Joel Strider. He lost a lot of ground there to Ibi Hadid.
He did indeed.
It looked like he missed a gear. He's got a paddle shift gearbox, and now he's under pressure from the 8 of Novikov going down into turn number 9. Boy, he just didn't get the 6-7 chicane right, and he's going backwards at the moment.
Because I thought maybe the flashing lights there was a strategy from Joel Strider there to
intimidate
and force an error out of Ibi Hadid, but then we saw him lose power through turn 6 and 7.
Yeah. I've got an idea. The flasher is on the. We got a yellow flag at turn 9. The flasher is actually on the steering wheel. Maybe he hit the flasher instead of the gear change.
Ah, that's a good point.
Yeah, because he was really busy on that flasher. Who is that down at turn 9?
It was one of the Dream Racing cars.
It's got the 7, and that is Yad Karim, obviously having a problem down there. Now, this is running the frontal roll cage on a Radical. It's the only one here that does that. It's part of the Radical package, because in some places around the planet, you have to have a frontal roll cage that sits above the driver's helmet between the front and the rear. As you can see, it does there on his Radical.
And we're about a minute away from the pit window officially opening for the first time. So it looks like the next time we go through, Alim Geshev will be the first driver to see that the pit window is open. Ian Aguilera was the quickest last time around with a 1:58.380, and he's only 0.3 of a second off the back bumper of Usman Miguel.
Indeed, Alim Geshev, 1.4 seconds to the good. He's going to need a lot of that time because he's got 60 seconds stationary in the pits. And as you said, it takes a couple of laps to sort it out because they don't all pit on the same lap. They've got 9 minutes to sort themselves out. Around here with the Radical times that they're doing, that's 3 or 4 laps that they've got to actually sort themselves out. As we're looking at Joel Strider again.
Now that car seems to be back up to speed because he's got back past.
I reckon he's hit the flasher instead of the gear change. And you don't want to do that because you've got to get that right. Otherwise, you can over-rev the engine in these Radicals. You don't want to have that happen. And you can see he runs the central seating position rather than the offset seating position as well. Another option in the SR3XXR.
Pit window now officially open, but before they can all come into the pit lane, they must first go past the board.
Yep.
And only then they can come in.
Well, what's happened, because so many drivers have made the mistake, the team bosses don't tell them that it's open anymore. They wait until they go underneath the sign and go box in 2 laps, box in 1 lap, rather than tell them when the sign goes on, because that's why they were all coming in. When we first started this, it was chaos because nobody knew what, it was like everybody's getting penalties. Why are we getting penalties? Because you have to go past the sign. You have to take it on that lap.
And we have seen penalties dished out and races lost because of missing the pit window or just getting it just slightly wrong. A few years ago, Jacopo Mazza lost the victory because of a pit lane penalty. He didn't come in on time. So, of course, teams learned from that and ensured that they wouldn't do the same thing again. Now, incident between cars 69 and 23 at lap 1, turn 6 on investigation. It's Perry Deramas and the 23 car. Now, that is Julien Monet. Now, would that be the reason why Perry Deramas got that 10-second penalty for going off track and getting an advantage?
Possibly. So, yeah, Perry Deramas did move up into 6th position past Sig Furmeister on that lap. And so cars 69 and 26 respectively. Let's keep an eye on who may come into the pits this time. Our race leader is heading down towards turn 9, the 77, followed by the 21.
The 17 and 33 are top 4. Now, again, a great drive as well from Perry Deramas after not getting the start right.
Yep.
Unfortunately, dropped to the tail end of the field, and he's also had a great recovery drive as well here. Currently 6th position, but has a 10-second penalty looming over his head. And Jack Yang just gone quickest through sector 2 with a 52.39. And we're moments away from seeing a British touring car driver Bobby Thompson get behind the wheel as well. Now, I wonder how long Jack Yang will actually stay out before Bobby Thompson gets behind the wheel of that number 33.
I did see them in the garage having very intense discussions when they were doing their seat fitting. So I think it'll probably be in the middle of the night, about 4 minutes in. Just depends on where they are. We've got our first stopper at the moment and our second stopper at the, and it's not in the middle. It's right at the very, very beginning as Jack Yang comes in. Ian Aguilera in as well. He's got to get that 60 seconds out of the way. Very smart from him because it gives him more time to make up those positions. He knows he's going to be stationary for 60 seconds. Keep an eye on the that's 77. He's already stopped. Now this is where we're going to see the driver change to Bobby Thompson, and the straps coming undone, belts coming undone, getting rid of the seat support that he has to wear. It's molded to the racing seat anyway, but it just pushes him more forward. And car 69, 10-second penalty for that incident on turn 6 on lap 1. And Perry Deramas's day is. He'll go, maybe I just shouldn't have. Maybe I just shouldn't have.
That's now a 20-second penalty by the looks of it for Perry Deramas, and he's the 3rd car in line on our picture, by the way, in the 69. So the team would have informed about that, and he's going to be kicking himself for this because he's a fantastic drive here from the tail end of the field, and unfortunately it's going to go to waste.
It is indeed. Now, I'm not sure if you can serve penalties at your pit stop or is it added on to your race time. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it probably will be added on to race time.
I think he would probably prefer it to be added during the pit stop,
yes,
so he could serve it and then do the same thing he did from the beginning and carve his way through the field, because again it's been a magnificent drive for him. Johnny Kazuma in the 5 is in, Julien Monet in the 23 is also in the pit lane. Alexander Tchava and Ben Curry have also made their way into the pit lane as well to do their first and hopefully only pit stop. Remember, it's just one mandatory pit stop they have to do while the pit window is open. For drivers such as Yahad Kardam, who's already been in, he'll have to serve another stop there into the pit box. Now, Alim Geshev decides not to take the right turn, but what about Usman Magal? As we cut off there, we did see the 21 peel into the pit lane, so 2nd overall is in as well.
And that puts quite a few already have pitted. We don't have many left that haven't pitted. We're well into the middle of the window. You must come into the pit lane while the window is open, okay? That's the key thing. It's not about when you exit, it's about when you come in, okay? Before that window closes, you must be in the pit lane. If the window closes while you're in the pit lane, you can exit the pit lane. It's okay. It's just where you want to be. Tyre temperatures being done on the 21 car as Usman Miguel sits there waiting patiently. Our pole sitter in car 21. The 24 comes in as well. They're really packed up in there.
So Zalatan Novichkov, Yul Strider, Ibi Hadid, Greg Gorski, Usman Bagal also in the pit lane. Ben Curry's been in the pit lane actually for quite some time as well, because he came in on the previous lap. Marcel Kopp, the German, comes in as well in the 32. Well, we say that Ben Curry has just left the pit lane as well. And it looks like the only drivers we have left are Alim Gushev, Amir Faislin, Zig Vermeister, and Pascal Bachmann, who have not come into the pit lane just yet.
And they must do that before pit lane closes. I dare say the next lap will be that with 22 10 to go. That's going to be interesting.
It's going to be very close as well if they leave it to this next lap. They're going to have to come in pretty much immediately, as we're looking at Ian Aguilera, in the 17. Currently be shown as 11th overall, but of course with this cycle underway for the pit stops, it will shuffle up the order. So we'll see a lot of cars where they should be. Now, Greg Gorski's going quite slow in the pit lane there. I wonder if he's giving room there to Alexander Novichkov.
Possibly. It was gentlemen drivers, gentlemen racers. They do these sort of things. Hopefully it's not an issue for the American driver.
Now that's
currently pitted from 5th position, and there's the 77, Alim Gushev, into the pit lane for his he could have a cup of tea. 60 seconds.
It's going to be quite some time there. And James Winslow will be offering some advice as well to his driver here while the pit window is still open as he pulls into his box. So Alim Gushev, Amir Faislin, Zig Vermeister, and, well, we've seen Yahid Kardim come into the box as well. So I think they're the last 3 to come in. It does look like we've got another car peeling in. Amir Faislin is in as well, and so is Zig Vermeister. The 77, 15 and 26 now all into the pit lane to do their mandatory pit stop.
TTR team working hard on getting those tyre pressures where they want them. So the Hankook tyres will be nice and warm now. Just drop the tyre temperature, tyre pressure a little bit. Take some of the pressure out. It unrounds the tyre, or unrounds the surface of the tyre, and gives them a little bit better grip as they're already half race old.
So, Pascal Bachmann was the last car that we didn't mention. That is now in the pit lane as well, the 91. And I think he's just got through as well, because we're about 30 seconds away, I think, from the pit window closing. Maybe a little bit more. But it looks to be everyone has got into the pit lane. They've done their mandatory pit stop. Now we wait to see if everyone's done it correctly. And
that's going to take about 2 laps to sort out, I think, Chris. And we wait for Alim Gushev to make the move out. The flashing lights indicate the pit limiter is on. And he was so close to pit exit, but the pit exit is not where the limiter comes off. It's actually after you exit the tunnel and about halfway up. Ian Aguilera, 1:58.093 on his out lap from his pit stop.
42.812 there through that 3rd sector as well. A fantastic lap there from the Mexican driver. Usman Magal takes the lead here, though, because as Alim Gushev was moving out of the pit lane, we saw Usman Magal come through turn 1. Remember, it's a very long drive to turn 3 at the exit of the pit lane. That is an excruciating amount of time.
It is indeed. He was just going past the Radical with the nice paint job on the back of it, and that is the... I'm just trying to pick up which car.
One of the Dream Racing cars there. They all have different highlights. When talking to Sean Simpson earlier today, there was 3 cars that you could tell. They have very interesting paint jobs, but you could tell which one it was by the wing mirrors. You could tell it by the back of the car where you saw the pink stripes, and the roll cage at the top as well. That was the Ben Curry number 55 car that Usman Magal was going past. Now that car obviously is not in contention for the podium. It's a little bit further back compared to Usman Magal. So the Pakistani driver now out in front and in a position where he can score more points and close that gap up on Ian Aguilera and the 77 of Alim Gushev.
Nobody left in the pits. Everybody is out on track. We're going to wait for another full lap to let you know where everybody may or may not be. Pascal Bachmann a 2:05 on the outlap. Zig Vermeister 2:07. Outlap for Ian Aguilera 1:58. And a good outlap for Johnny Kazuma as well, a 2:02. So it's about getting straight back into the rhythm. And that's the key thing about exiting you don't have fresh tyres, you got less fuel, and you know where your grip is. Just get out there and do it.
So Usman Magal leads from Ian Aguilera, and then in third we have the 77 of Alim Gushev. Perry Deramas up into fourth position, but that 20-second penalty that looms over his head is going to be a tough pill for him to swallow, and it's very unfortunate there for the British driver, but he's just going to have to push on here. The Bobby Thompson number 33 car now running in fifth position, with Amir Faison down to sixth. Joel Strider is seventh, Ibi Hadid is eighth, Zig Furmeister down into ninth position, and Novichkov, who's just going through our pictures now, in 10th position overall. And we have Alexander Novichkov doing a 2-minute 2:82, going green through sector 2. But Usman Magal has just done a 24.744 through sector 1.
Now, this is really going to put it to Ian Aguilera because he did a 24.8. Can they match? There's just under 5 seconds separating the 21 and the 17 on track at the moment. Nobody could stop Ian Aguilera in the last 2 races. Only a penalty could stop him from starting from pole position. Can Usman Magal, of many seasons in radical racing, be the answer?
Well, we've got over 16 and a half minutes remaining on the clock, and well, Ian Aguilera is a very rapid driver indeed. He's just gone 0.2 of a second faster through sector 2, but that's not enough to claw back those 5 seconds or just under that he has from Usman Magal. But Usman will be pushing hard here around the Aspirina circuit because he knows what's at stake here. He's going to be clawing back some points here in his championship hope. We're seeing a great battle here with Amir Faison, Joel Strider and Ibi Hadid.
Ibi Hadid wants to move up better than the 8th position that he is in the moment. Started in 9th in that gorgeous tiger stripe car. That's absolutely stunning.
The Canadian here again back in another season being driver coached by Suelio Almeida. Had the chance to race against him in the Radical World Finals a couple of weeks ago. Great to see Ibi Hadid improve as well over the previous season. Even raced in the streets of Toronto not too long ago and had an absolute blast there. But with so many cars around him, it was a bit of a shock to see so many on the streets there. But of course back again in the Gulf Radical Cup and pushing hard. We saw a great battle with him yesterday and he's having another one here with now Joel Strider. We've got Ibi Hadid. We've got Amir Faison, and now joining the battle again is Zig Furmeister, and in close proximity is Alexander Novichkov as well. He's 2.8 seconds back from this battle as they lean on each other. There's Amir Faison on the inside and handing out to driver was Joel Strider in the 99 car, another driver who's rapidly improved it in the Gulf Radical Cup.
Yeah, indeed. Usman Magal, 4.7 seconds, 58.044 for Ian Aguilera. He picked up 3/10 on that lap. We've got 15 minutes to go. He's going to need to pick up at least half a second a lap at the moment to get up to Usman before the finish of this race.
And I've just seen that Bobby Thompson's at a 158.5 flats there in the 33, currently 5th overall, 4.4 seconds adrift. And behind him is this battle here between Amir Faison and Joel Strider. And here comes Zig Furmeister on the inside of Ibi Hadid. Says, thank you very much. But Ibi says, no, you're not getting away with it that easy.
Right from Ibi Hadid on the exit of that corner.
He's going to chase him all the way through turn 8 as they go side by side. Now, does Zig Furmeister have damage on the left-hand side of that car from our pictures with the right-hand side? It does look like there's a bit of a gap, or is that some racing tape that's been applied?
I think it might be some racing tape applied. It doesn't seem to be slowing him down much. He's one of the other cars running the front roll cage on his car. As they, under 15 minutes to go now, Usman Magal goes through and completes 14 laps. 158.5, 158.4. Wow, he's holding Ian Aguilera at bay at the moment. Good driving from Usman Magal.
That gap has come down by 1/10 of a second, and Ian needs to push a bit harder if he wants to take that position back, if he wants to score maximum points here in this race, for those 25 points to add more across to Alim Gushev to ensure that the championship can go his way before the end. And it looks like we've got a repeat of race number 2. We've got a 5-way battle, and conveniently it features Ibi Hadid and Zig Furmeister again, who were part of that battle yesterday as well.
Unbelievable stuff, Ibi Hadid. And that's Alexander Novichkov behind him. That mid-pack battle that we had yesterday was absolutely brilliant. and it looks like it's forming up all over again. So that's Ibi Hadid and Alexander Novichov in the number 8 car behind him. And he was working so hard on the pair in front of him, he forgot to look in his mirrors.
He certainly did, and it's great to see Novichkov's form here in today's race. Yesterday was a battery issue, was the reason why he didn't start the race. The car was juttering as it made its way down.
Started in 14th position. So up into 10th at the moment and threatening for 9th as he pulls to the inside down into turn 6. Not going to make that move work just yet. It's the drive coming out of here. That's what he wants, so he can go side by side down into turn 9.
As he continues to apply the pressure at the back of Ibi Hadid, Novichkov knows exactly what it's like to taste the podium. He was 4th overall in our Gulf Radical Cup endurance race last time out at the Biodrome. He's been on the podium before that as well, but he really threw himself on the deep end here as he partook in the Radical World Finals. It's his first season of racing with us here in the Gulf Radical Cup, but he's been quick out of the box pretty much immediately. But he just hasn't had the results to fight for a championship here. But again, he's showing his pace here, currently inside the top 10 and applying the pressure to the back bumper of Ibi Hadid.
Ian Aguilera, 57.915. 7/10 of a second quicker than Usman Magal on that lap. The gap is down to 3.9 seconds with just under 12 minutes to go.
And we've gone under the qualifying times as well.
Yes.
A 1:58.291 for Usman Magal for pole position. A 1:57.917. He was 0.3 of a second faster than Usman's pole time earlier today.
So this battle continues on between Ibi Hadid and Novichov just down in front of them. It's in the 2 white cars. It's Amir Fezelen and Zig Furmeister all getting together. This battle is still absolutely... it's really, really... he's going to try down the inside or locks up. That was Novichov locking up in to turn number 5. Couldn't make that move stick. And it is Ibi Hadid now losing a little bit of ground to Zig Furmeister as they make their way down the long back straight. Just over 10.5 minutes to go.
And Usman Magal continues to lead, but that gap is coming down between himself and Ian Aguilera. 3.9 seconds at the moment is the gap between our race leader, the 21, and the 17. Alim Geshev further back behind by 5.5 seconds, and it's Perry Deramas in the 69, 7 seconds back, but unfortunately 20 seconds is the gap. But the good news is I have a feeling it won't drop Perry Deramas outside the top 10 because he is 13 seconds ahead of Yul Strider. And if we look further back, Johnny Kazuma is 10 seconds behind Alexander Novichkov, which will keep Perry Deramas inside the top 10. But unfortunately, he will not score those points for 4th overall, and that's not going to be. That's not going to
won't be enough
when he gets out of the car.
And once again, Ian Aguilera 57.7, Usman Magal 58.6. Okay, another 9/10 of a second, just on 3 seconds the gap with 9 3/4 minutes to go. Does he have enough in the tank, or has he taken too much out of his tyres?
And that's the thing when it comes to endurance racing.
Yes.
It's an extra 20 minutes to what we did yesterday.
Yeah.
We did 2 25-minute races. There's a lot more strategy that's at play here, right? They have to really think about nursing home the tyres, nursing home the fuel load and everything like that, because now we're getting towards the end of it. Have we used up too much of the car?
Yes.
And that's what they're all thinking now at the moment.
Yeah, indeed. As I'm just watching the lap times for Perry Deramas, 59.4. He's at 1.8 seconds ahead of Bobby Thompson in the 33 car, currently in 5th position. But this battle rages on. And at the moment, it doesn't look like Novichov has the answer to get past Ibi Hadid. Hadid just placing that car just right. But what that he's defending, and that's dropping him back from Zig Furmeister, the white car in front of him, who is only 7/10 now behind Amir Fezelen. So that battle could pull up, and that battle could slow those 2 cars down and bring these cars in. And that is the second time that Novichov has locked up now. So he's starting to wear those tyres.
And that's kind of That's quite unfortunate there for him, as he is chasing down the Ibi Hadid number 22. So Usman Magal will continue to lead here, and it will be still in front of them is the Zig Furmeister and Mev Faison, who we just saw a little bit further up the road. It was 3 seconds was the gap between the two of them, but a little bit further back because Ibi Hadid and Alexander Novichkov, of course, slowing each other down, and with those lockups from Novichkov, they're not really catching up to the two in front of them. So we've got a bit of a breakaway between those two battles.
2.3 seconds, the battle up the top end of the field. Usman Magal, Ian Aguilera, 58.6 versus 58 flat for Aguilera. 5.7 seconds back to Alim Geshev in third. Then 9 seconds back to Perry Derrimasa. We've got a spinner on the turn number 3. I'm just checking who that is. It's car number 7.
The Yahid Kardem-driven number 7 for Dream Racing. Now, the car has got going again. It was a very brief yellow flag, and there were some quick cars coming through that position as well. Back now with the race leader, the car 21, 2.3 seconds up the road from Ian Aguilera. Now, I thought there was not enough time left on the clock, but it seems to be Ian Aguilera has a different clock.
Yes.
He has a much faster clock than we do, because he has caught up tremendously here.
Yeah, 58.3 for Usman Magal, 57.7 for Ian Aguilera. They almost match lap times to the thousandths of a second in Sector 1, and then 50.4, a tenth up in Sector 2. He's put in 3 absolutely perfect laps as Ian Aguilera, and car number 7 is getting the warning flag for driving standards.
As back now with this battle between the 22 and 8, Ibi Hadid and Alexander Novichkov. And again, a lock-up field there.
Yeah.
This time the left front of the car there.
So just slightly unbalanced. The brake bias not quite right. Probably a little bit too much towards the front. Battle in front of him is Zig Furmeister and Amir Feslin, just 0.3 of a second there. So that's going to start heating up very short with just over 6 minutes to go.
I have noticed that Greg Gorski's tumbled down the order as well. He's shown as 12th overall in the 24 car. He was inside the top 10 when...
He's just tired. He's done a little bit of driving this weekend.
He certainly has. He did 6 hours earlier today, and he's behind fellow 6-hour competitor as well, who was on the podium in the TCE category, Johnny Kazoum here, one of a handful of drivers who are based here in the United Arab Emirates and from the region as a whole is Johnny Kazoum, proudly representing Lebanon as he does week in and week out when he race here in the Gulf Radical Cup. And it's great to see drivers from the region participate in this fantastic championship and race against some of the best that the region has to offer as well.
Well, Perry Derrimas has got company in the form of Bobby Thompson now as they head down towards turn number 5. The 33 car really starting to put the pressure on now. Lapping quicker is Bobby Thompson at the moment, and now with a good slipstream as they head down towards turn number 6.
It looks like Usman Magal has realised the pressure is heating up for him, because he's just gone purple through Sector 1 with a 24.617.
Let's see what Bobby Thompson's like under brakes going down into turn number 6. Keeps going. Look at him looking through the corner. Brilliantly done for Bobby Thompson. That's 4th position for the 33 car. It does say Jack Yang name up there. Unfortunately, we can't change it, but what a really good move. Look, he's not even looking right. He's looking straight through the corner. He knew he had that done.
He did. It's an incredible thing. 4 years driver coaching it with Jack Yang, and he's never once behind the wheel of a Radical entirely. Those are 4 years. This is his first Radical race, and of course he chose the Gulf Radical Cup to do it in because he knows how competitive this championship is, and that was a fantastic move, like you said, Phil. Wasn't even looking to the right. He looked to the left. He looked where the apex was, went through, and then says, "Thank you very much, Perry. I'm off." But now 6.2 seconds. That's going to be quite a tough ask to close up with 5 minutes or less on the clock.
Indeed, that gap at the top end. Usman Magal does his personal best time of 58.4, 58.04, 58.09 that time. That's the first time in 5 laps he's been quicker than Ian Aguilera, courtesy of that very first very fast first sector.
Now, this is a replay of Greg Gorski getting it all wrong through turn 7.
Mr. Gorski.
And, well, I would have said if the
He's
two were
tired.
closer, that is true. But Johnny Kazoum and Greg Gorski actually had it coming together during the Radical World Finals, down through turn 8 and through turn 9 as well. Unfortunately, Johnny Kazoum had the short end of the stick. This time round, it was Greg Gorski, unfortunately, lost out this time round. And as that was a battle for 11th position at the moment, two of our drivers doing double duty here this weekend.
Zig Vermeister has made that move on Amir Faisalan for 7th position on that lap. That moves him up. Where did he start in the... He started in 5th, so he's still got a couple of positions to get back. But have a look at Bobby Thompson. He's now 1.7 seconds ahead of Perry Deramas.
Yahid Kardem has spun through turn 5 here at the Aspen Marina circuit as working his way through, and the timing screens have updated themselves to now Bobby Thompson shown as 4th overall behind the wheel of the 33. Here is that spin of Yahid Kardem, unfortunately doing it all by his lonesome there through the corner.
Just not understanding how much grip these tyres have when they are starting to wear out. That's all that is about, is overestimating what the car will do. Yes, it is a learning experience. He is finding out the limits, but when you spin on your own 3 times in a race, you need a driver coach to assist you and help you understand why this is happening, so that you can be better at it. The 21 getting the bad sportsman flag. That is Usman Magal, our race leader. Now, is that for track limits?
It does say track limits
yes.
on our screen, but
Yes.
there was a different number on that board as well. It said 15, and the 15 car is Amir Faisalan being warned about track limits, but on our screen, Phil, you're correct.
Yeah.
It said car 21.
And car 7's getting another driver's standing flag. Now, you don't want to get too many of those, because that'll bring into question your ability to drive the car and ability to hold a license. Now, we don't want anything bad to happen, but it's just in racing circumstances, when you have accidents by yourself a lot, there is something that the team need to do to help you get through that period where you're struggling to understand the car, as the 21 goes past the 55 and puts a lap down.
And now for Usman Magal, this gets a bit tricky now because he has traffic to deal with in front of him. That was Ben Curry that is now in between himself and Ian Aguilera. Now he's fast approaching Marcel Kopp, who's in his first season here in the Gulf Radical Cup, had never raced a car before he started this championship a few months ago, and what a drive he's done. He threw himself in the deep end as well in the Radical World Finals a couple of months ago as well, but he had an absolute blast driving it, and he is so happy to be here, and he's constantly improving as well, and looking forward to doing even more with the Gulf Radical Cup and, of course, around the world as well. The gap up front comes down to 1.5 seconds.
But we've only got 45 seconds before... well, I think our leader, the 21, will get around there before the clock ticks over, which means it'll start its final lap.
And that is not something he wants at all, is it? Because that's another lap he's going to have to defend from the hard-charging Ian Aguilera, who has now closed that gap up to less than a car length between the two of them now.
Indeed, the 22 also getting the warning flag. So that's Ibi Hadid again. So it's all happening up the front. Ian Aguilera getting caught up behind a back marker as he makes his way through. The gap is 0.3 of a second on the final lap.
And that's exactly what Usman wanted. He wanted Marcel Koch to be there through turn 1, but unfortunately, when you've got Ian Aguilera coming through as he flashes the lights, he's trying to force an error out of the Pakistani leader at the moment, number 21, Usman Magal. He knows how to win a race, but he's got the Mexican Ian Aguilera right up behind him.
This is going to go right down to the wire, folks. Usman Magal, Ian Aguilera starting from the back of the grid. They've got a great big gap now over Alim Gashev in 3rd and Bobby Thompson in 4th. But what can Ian Aguilera do? He's won both races so deep under brakes. So much confidence in the front end of that Radical. What's his drive like going out of there? Usman Magal gets very good drive. There's only a few more opportunities. There's not many.
As we work our way down towards turn 9 here, flashing the lights from Ian Aguilera. There it's like almost going down Sheikh Zayed Road in the middle of the night here on the back straight here. through turn 9 we go as Usman runs a little wide. Ian Aguilera sniffs an opportunity, but not close enough.
No, not close enough at this stage. Now, he can either... We've seen him make moves underneath the hotel where people don't expect it. Now, is he lining himself up to do that now? They come into the right-hander, and we wait for them to go under the hotel. Let's see if they come through there. He's not close enough. Usman Magal is doing a brilliant job of keeping it at bay. He's now about 1.5 car lengths back. He doesn't have an opportunity unless Usman Magal makes a mistake in the final corner. I don't think that's going to happen, and I think Ian Aguilera knows that, and he is just going to play second fiddle. And it is Usman Magal who takes the win by 0.5 of a second over Ian Aguilera. Boy, isn't he a happy camper?
He will be absolutely delighted with that victory as well there. What a magnificent job from Usman Magal to keep Ian Aguilera, mind you, who started from the back of the field. He started 18th 45 minutes ago, and he finished his second at the line here by 0.5 of a second.
Unbelievable.
As always, if we had that one additional lap, what could have happened?
What could have happened? And yeah, just really good driving. Great battles all up through that midfield as well, with Bobby Thompson and Perry Deramas changing positions. Joel Streiter and Zig Furmeister, Amir Fezelen having a great battle with Furmeister. Ibi Hadid and Alexander Novichov still battling down to the line, and there they go. And they finished just over 1.5 seconds separating 3 cars, and that is 7th, 8th and 9th.
A great drive as well from Perry Deramas after that start that he had that was not the way he wanted to be. Started at the tail end of the field as well, behind Ian Aguilera. Managed to finish 5th overall, but he has that 20-second penalty looming over his head. More penalties to be dished out. 5-second penalty goes the way of the number 7 for track limit. Now, Phil, there was something before I go. Usman Magal was under for the watchful eye of the stewards for track limits.
Yes. Now,
did he break any more track limits? Is the real question, because if he did, that means that victory will not go his way.
Yeah, indeed. You will find that out probably at the podium, won't you?
I will. I will see a very dejected Usman Magal if it is the case. But otherwise, once again, congratulations to this man right here. The 21 of Usman Magal. A great way to end this race weekend. And, of course, the Golf Radical Cup here at the Yas Marina Circuit for the Yas Racing Series number 2. Phil, I will bid you farewell for now, but I'll see you very much on Chris. The podium.
Yep, indeed. Enjoy. Don't get locked out. As the cars now making their way back to Parc Fermé. What a fantastic race that was. The pit stop strategy, it didn't favour Alim Geshev at all. He had that 60 seconds that he had to be stationary for, and he would have been up there fighting with Ian Aguilera for second position. So the balance of performance, the equalisation that happens when you have success penalties from the previous round really came into play when they sorted themselves out from the pit stops. The 21 comes in. Usman Magal. Alongside him to his left is Ian Aguilera. Dual winner here this weekend in the 2 25-minute sprint races. And to Usman's left, Alim Geshev makes his way in there. As we said, we got some penalties, but boy, isn't Usman Magal a happy camper? Yes. He is very happy indeed. Great driving, well defended under a massive amount of pressure from Ian Aguilera. He was able to do. There's a great camaraderie between Ian and Usman. Just couldn't quite get that gap down enough. Started from the back of the field in 18th position and managed to finish 0.5 of a second off the top step.
Great, bro. Thanks. Very good. Almost right. Yes, at the back.
Yes, and as Usman is just getting his helmet off at the moment. wait to see that beaming smile from Usman Magal. That's excellent, fantastic race, fantastic defensive drive over those last 5 laps since the pit stop when Ian Aguilera was attacking so hard. And he made him do all of the work. Yes, he's crew number 1, no problem whatsoever. The boys really make that car sing for Usman Magal, and very happy with the Gulf Sport Racing team. Fred Jacobs was down there trying to round up the drivers to get them up onto the podium. Ian Aguilera, well, he couldn't quite get there. 0.5 of a second separated from at the back of the field. Alim Geshev, another quality drive, but he had that 60-second pit stop because of the success seconds from the last round. And just missed out on second place by 6 seconds, or possibly even to the top of the timesheets with by 7 seconds. So very, very close. 7 seconds covered the top 3 as they crossed the line. 22 laps completed. Drivers telling their stories now about how the track was, how things were out there, who was doing what, etc. As Alim Geshev gets a little bit more comfortable. But that mini Enduro really sets it apart, is that pit stop with the various times that really make it happen. Once again, before we go, we want to say thank you to all of our hard-working track staff here, all of the marshals and officials, all of our friends and colleagues in race control. We can't do this without a massive team of volunteers. Our pit lane staff have been moving from this pit lane over to the support paddock pit lane and then coming back to do this pit lane as well. Massive long days. We started very early this morning, as we did yesterday, and congratulations to you all for really putting a fantastic effort in to keep these races flowing and keep everything on time. A sublime effort here for round 2 of the Yash Racing Series. Congratulations to everybody, and thank you as we wait to get the drivers upstairs to the podium, where Chris is making his way to now. There's everybody having a chat down in the Parc Ferme area.
1, 2. All right, this one works.
It won't be too long until Fred Jacobs drags them upstairs, if we can find the way. Usman Magal just having a chat there with Tommy. It looks like it's Tommy Erdos down on there, driver coach for the Golf Sport team. Not bad, getting a little bit of coaching from a 2-time Le Mans 24-hour winner in the LMP2 class. High quality coaching in the Golf Radical Cup, always has been that way. One of our longest running series here in the Middle East. Started by Barry Hope, now run by Martin Hope. And the Hope family have been involved in motorsport here for over 3 decades. Barry back, or maybe even 4, Barry will correct me on that one. But quality racing all the way up. 18 cars took the track. Let's have a look at the provisional results. Usman Magal takes the win from Ian Aguilera in second position. Alim Geshev in third. Jack Yang and Bobby Thompson, a great drive from them in fourth position. Perry Deramas with a few issues out there today in fifth. Joel Strider in sixth. Zeg Vermeister in seventh. Amir Fezelin in 8th position. Ibi Adid in 9th, and Alexander Novichov in 10th position. Greg Gorski finished in 11th and Johnny Kazoum 12th. Double duty for both of those guys this weekend, competing in the 6 hour of Abu Dhabi. Julian Moni in 13th. Alexander Chachava in 14th. Pascal Bachmann in 15th. Marcel Kopp 16th. Jahid Karim in 17th. 18th is Ben Curry. DNS, no starting for Alexander Bekantov, and Rick Parrish, unfortunately, not feeling well this evening and didn't take part in this race. Let's have a look at the highlights. 45 minutes of Radical racing has come to a close, and Usman Magal, Ian Aguilera and Alim Geshev are making their way up towards the podium. But what fantastic racing all up and down the field for this round number 3. 7 rounds in this series, in the 24-25 series for the Golf Radical Cup. And the grids keep growing more and more through the year. All right, let's head down to the podium. Chris is there, ready to go.
Endurance race here for the Golf Radical Cup. What a way to evening as well. It's now time for the podium presentation, and as always, we'll bring them out in reverse order. Ladies and gentlemen, in third place, please welcome Alim Geshev. In second position, please welcome Ian Aguilera. And to the top step of the podium in our race here, Radical Cup, please welcome Magal. And to help us present the trophies, we invite Mohammed Al-Hashmi, the track and motorsport manager at the Yas Marina circuit, to help us present our trophies here for our 3 winners here in the Golf Radical Cup. And he'll first present the third place trophy to Alim Geshev. We invite him back to present the second place trophy to Ian Aguilera. And then last but not least, we invite him back to present the winner's trophy to Usman Magal. And that wraps up the trophy presentation here for our endurance race for the Golf Radical Cup. What an incredible evening, what an incredible race that was. We say goodbye now to the Golf Radical Cup for a few weeks, but we'll be back on track soon enough. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a safe drive home, and we'll see you soon.
Let's have a look where Radical will be next in the Golf Radical Cup round number 4. Coming your way at Dubai Autodrome from the 7th and 8th of March. It's been a fantastic event this weekend. If you're into Radical racing, head up to the Autodrome. On behalf of Chris Melbourne and myself, Phil Anson, we want to see you next time we go Radical racing here in the United Arab Emirates. Bye for now.
For the Radical